The Ringo Starr Renaissance is here. It's now. It's happening. His brand new album, Look Up, is gaining a lot of rave reviews. People are really appreciating this, and even the ones that aren't raving about it still think it's a good Ringo album, his best in many, many years or decades, okay? This is a solid Ringo Starr album, and it deserves all the praise it's getting, in my opinion. Now, the Ringo Renaissance. Let me tell you something. Recently, I think yesterday, in fact, it was shown that Ringo's album is #1 on the Amazon charts of sales. Now, some detractors, of course, naysayers, are saying, well, that doesn't really count because it's not Billboard. Well, let me put it to you this way. Believe me, you're preaching to the choir in that. I understand. I've always said myself that Billboard is, in fact, the real main chart, the one that counts, the one that's really the biggie here in the United States. I'm not talking about around the world, but anyway, in the United States, Billboard is the one that matters. However, that doesn't take away from the fact that Ringo Starr has never in his career had a #1 album on Amazon. Okay, it's not official, it's not the one that's going to last, it's not the one that's going to be in the history books. Billboard will be that, whatever it's going to be. We'll see fairly soon. But let's not take away, try to like, ding at Ringo and try to like put a dent in all the positive vibes, pee in the punch, piss in the parade. You know what I mean? Let's give Ringo his due. I'm sure he's very happy right now to have a #1 seller on Amazon, and he deserves it. It's a great piece of work by Ringo and everybody involved. Billy Strings, T-Bone Burnett, Molly Tuttle, etc., etc. Okay, this is a really good album. Okay, I feel that way. Okay, but yeah, this is a big moment for Ringo. As far as Billboard's concerned, when it comes out and we see what it's going to be, I make a personal prediction the best I can. I don't think it's not going to be #1. If it did, I'd probably just zip up and fly through the ceiling, and I'm sure a lot of people would like to see that on camera, but I don't expect that. However, I think it's going to be in the 20s. I think it's going to be an album that's going to get into the 20s. If it gets higher than 20, in the teens or something, I'd really be thrilled. The highest charting album Ringo has had in the last decades, since the 70s and so forth, has been, I believe, the Why Not album released in 2010. I think that album got to number 58 on Billboard, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, 58 was the highest we've seen. I predict this is going to get higher. But again, there's different times right now. There are different ways people judge what qualifies as worthy of being the top, what constitutes a sale, But anyway, let's give Ringo his moment, okay? There are people out there, of course, I understand, that are anti-Ringo. He's the low man in the Beatles. He's not John, Paul, or George. He's only Ringo and this and that and the other thing. Eat your hearts out. This album already, even if it gets lower on Billboard, is going to go down in history as a Ringo hit and a real return to form. Good luck, Ringo.